Hey everybody, welcome. This is Everything Board Games, and my name is Paul. I'm otherwise known as the Techno Funk Boy. I was recently got the opportunity to review a current Kickstarter campaign. It's a tabletop role-playing game, 5e compatible, called Dawn of the Necromancer by John Harmston, and wanted to tell you a little bit about that today. As always, in the effort of full disclosure, I was provided a preview copy of this game, which covers part 1 of the adventure. Now, notably, this is a full campaign. This is going to take your players from level 1 through level 20 before the final confrontation. Part 1, the part that I was provided, includes what seems to be the first town, and is essentially the first 4 levels. And so a good chunk of the beginning of the game. Since this was not the final product, some of the details may change before the final work does come out. And so if there's something I mentioned that ends up being changed, that is why. I was not only able to actually read this. I did get a chance to put some of my friends through the adventure, and this will kind of hint toward the bottom line, the final verdict, so to speak. But not only was I excited about it, after we finished playing, all 4 of the people who were playing the game said, "That was great. When do we get to continue it?" Which is not always the case when we're doing sample games. That even those that might be interesting, when I put some players through it at the end, even if they liked it, they're like, "Oh, I was glad that I got to do that." But it's not all the time that they are excited to continue. I thought that was pretty telling about the product itself, because I, as the dungeon master in this case, did get to see a little bit farther ahead, got a little bit more of the taste of the full story. The players who are not at all aware yet of the dealings of this necromancer and what's going on with her, were sufficiently intrigued that they also wanted to keep going. So, if you just came for the bottom line of whether I recommend this or not, it is a very enthusiastic yes, and I'm excited to see that it has been funded, because that means I get to play more of it. That there are a few things that I think are very, very notable about this. As I say, this is going to take your players from level 1 through level 20. This is a 5th edition compatible game, and so using just our regular Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition rules, and fits in those very, very nicely. Now, you're going to notice on the Kickstarter page, and by the way, I'm going to put we're going to put the links to the Kickstarter page down there. We also videoed, we ran a stream of our test play of it, originally on Twitch at twitch.tv/technofunkboy, but also exported that over to YouTube. And so I'll see if I can throw a link to that down there as well, if you do want to see the adventure kind of in motion, so to speak. The first thing is the Kickstarter page is going to note the encounters, and this is something that that John seems particularly proud of, and he should be. The encounters that I got to see in that first section, and through communication, we also got some hints of some further ones, are really, really good. And I would even say that even if you're just looking for some encounter ideas for most of them are like horror themed. Some of them are just straight up adventure themed. But even if you're looking for those sorts of counter ideas, this book might be worth it for that alone. It starts off that kind of in the way that they all do. That you're hired at a tavern to go to this town to help because they've got a problem. In this case, the problem is there's this creature, this golem that has taken residence up in the graveyard, and trying to figure out what it's doing and why and who put it there. You have simply the players have just been hired to take care of it, but that is going to blossom into a much bigger thing. We're going to talk about that more in a minute. But immediately, every turn that you take, every lead that you follow is going to take you into an encounter that is very creative and unique from the other ones in the book. And so, you're probably going to start off with a zombie encounter, but it's not going to be what your players expect. The zombies are not going to do what your players expect them to do. Soon after that, they might encounter a ghost story, and this was my favorite encounter in the book, and I want definitely make sure that my players got there. But there's a ghost story, and the ghost is going to almost mirror the attitude of your players. If they come in spoiling for a fight, they're going to get a fight. If they come in with compassion, then they're greeted with compassion. And it turns out to be what starts off as a missing person that turns into kind of a murder investigation that really can end up in a very either tragic way or a very touching way. They might go from that to a wagon chase, like the medieval version of a car chase against these criminals down the street. The thing that they're actually hired to fight is this grave golem, and I did want to put up the picture for this because I love this character design. So the golem, it has been created from gravestones and monuments from the graveyard itself, and so it's got this really kind of creepy vibe to it when you kind of realize that it's been compiled from all of from all these grave markers. That typically in the book, from the book, they're probably going to finish off that part of the quest about level 3, and so you see from that they that even though they have come into town to do this thing, that little seed of an adventure is going to blossom so much that they're not even going to get to that for a couple of levels. Which brings me to the quests themselves, because this is truly an open world, and I really would encourage dungeon masters to just let all of the adventure hooks around the town to set off and breathe. When my players first came into town, within a few minutes, they had several adventure hooks staring them in the face, and they got to pick which ones they thought were most urgent and what they might put off for a little bit, and then they could even change their mind in the middle of one of the quests, because a lot of these loop around and feed into the other things going around town. So as a dungeon master, let that happen. Let the player pick where they want to go and what leads they want to follow, and what people they want to help along the way. And so, like in my game, they were on that missing persons quest, and that led them over to the graveyard, and they decide, it was a cool moment because they were like, we were hired to take care of that, weren't we? well, let's give it a try. And so, like, they abandoned their quest mid-quest to start another quest, which they had actually already been given and abandoned for other quests, or put off, I should say, because none, the intention was to do all of these. Now, they definitely weren't ready for that and became convinced of that very, very quickly. But it produced this really nice tension as the players are starting to realize that a lot of the problems here have similar sources, and that this isn't a problem of a golem in a graveyard. This is a problem of something much, much greater. Now, fairly soon, they may have already actually picked up on hints that the villainess of this adventure, the Necromancer, is watching. And I do like her a lot. She's got an interesting backstory, but the thing I found actually more interesting about her is that she's not a stationary a villainess. So, like, if you ever run Curse of Strahd, the book suggests that Strahd is not waiting in his castle for things to play out. He's active, and so how are you gonna use that in the plot? This Necromancer is active. She's doing things to keep tabs on everything that's going on. She is aware of the problems that the heroes are causing for her. And she actually grows in the course of the game. She gains levels. Thankfully, not as quickly as our heroes, because otherwise they'd be in trouble. But she does grow, and as the game goes on, which I really, really like. And so by the end of part 1, the heroes are clued in as to who their real enemy is, but it's still going to take some time to unravel her very, very carefully laid plans. And so this is where besides the encounters themselves, this is where the game starts to really shine. Is not just the creativity of the encounters, but how the encounters overlap and interact with each other. And very, very often, like, when we say open world, that means that we can walk down the street to a town and that town has a quest. What this game does is that there are a lot of things going on, and they're all going on at the same time. And the players can pick where they want to go next, and what they want to pursue, what interests them. And those things are probably going to circle around to other things, to other places that are connected with other quests. And my word for the dungeon masters out there, just embrace that. Just embrace that, because it is a lot of fun for the players to be going over there, and they're like, wait a minute, that's where this other quest is going on. While we're over there, let's check out this, and they can actually be doing several things at once, and it could be pretty fun, and really kind of try the player's ability to take notes and keep track of several things at once. So at the end of the day, the atmosphere here is really good. It from the very beginning, this area has a very creepy tone to it. You get the sense of dread, of danger, as well as several things right away that the player can be triumphant in, have a sense of victory, and also enough clues and hints to keep the player interested in what is happening next. And so I'm very, very excited about this product. I'm very much looking forward to seeing the final product that is being released. As we say, this is available on Kickstarter right now, as of the recording of this. There is a little bit of time left to get on board on this stage. And so check the links below, and we will, if it's not up already, the written review will also be up at Everything Board Games. I appreciate it if you do want to check out my streams of tabletop role-playing games, possibly some future test Kickstarter games. Twitch.tv/TechnoFunkBoy, and I really would appreciate a follow over there. It means a lot to me. Otherwise, be sure and give this video a like and a subscription for more from Everything Board Games, and we'll see you next time.